Hey guys, it's Cody. It's been a while since I've made a YouTube video. I'm very, very excited to be back and making videos. A lot was happening in my life, which I look forward to sharing in another video. And a little bit here, I'm going to do a Q&A, and we're going to talk about it for the first time. I've got a lot of people who've been wondering where I've been at, and a lot of people who have joined the subscriber Twitter and Snapchat, and then I disappeared. So we are going to address that, and we're going to reestablish ourselves and recreate a web presence. And I'm excited for everyone to be a part of it because my goal is to be very interactive. So today's theme or idea that I wanted to touch on, I really wanted to just talk about positivity and how it's so important in this day and age with all that's going on in this country and all over the world. And it can be quite depressing, and I have been quite upset about some of some things that have slipped through the cracks politically and socially, and it's important not to get jaded and to stay optimistic. And it's very difficult, again, with the media playing into it, and we all know that they do that for numbers and sales and for, for their own gain. And so even during these times, it's important to maybe, if you listen and let it go. Don't judge it, and don't harbor it, and don't put too much energy into the things that you hear, especially the negative. Now, I wanted to specifically talk today about HIV and the stigma around HIV surrounding positive individuals. And I know that we have leagues to go. It's sad. I have friends who are positive, and I feel like we've all known someone who's positive, and maybe not. Maybe it's just because I live in a city like Los Angeles where there are a lot of positive individuals, and it's not. I mean, even still, having all of the positive individuals, it's quite taboo to talk about it because a lot of people still feel negative, and I see a lot of I know it's even worse throughout the country because they're not in contact with those people, and they're uneducated, and they're afraid, and they have the mentality of the people from the 80s, and they are associating it with that, and things just aren't like that anymore. So as we progress, we have to acknowledge the changes in medicine, and we have to educate ourselves on what that. And it's even at very minimal. It's to protect yourself. How to contract diseases and how you can fight them. So sadly, it's very misconstrued, and the stigma around it makes it hard to educate people, and it makes it hard to change people's minds, and it makes people really easily judged. I mean, it makes it sad. So now that going back on the fact that I was talking about living in the city, I see a lot of advertisement across the city that says protect yourself against HIV, and I think that is the message is lost in the delivery, because it's making positive people they should be ashamed, and it's portraying them in a negative light. You need to protect yourselves against these people. It's creating a whole nother group, a whole separate group, another minority, and it's unfair to those individuals, and it decreases their quality of life, and they have to fight extra hard and get counseling and such, just to work on their mental health, just from what it does to them on their own personal level, without people contributing to it, which it is a negative contribution that we get from society. So I think it's important to change this outlook, and I say talking about it is the first step. I would like to share the fact that earlier this year, I actually received a positive diagnosis, and it was shocking. It was hard for me. I've always been. It's a little loud. I needed some music in the background to keep me focused. So that's a little distracting now. Anyways, okay, so now I received this diagnosis, and it was hard to think about how my life would change. I didn't see it as like a death sentence. I'm already bipolar, and so I mean, I already have to take medicine every day, so that wasn't really a big worry. But the concern was that like I was on Truvada, and which I didn't take perfectly, so there was that paranoia that's how I got it, and then there was also the fact that I was being kind of promiscuous during the time, and I was going through some personal things that made me want to act out that way, and basically, you don't know what it's like until you go through it. So I remember giving my advice to positive friends, just saying, or people who just found out, saying, "Oh, well, medicine is so far along, and it's like not a death sentence like it used to be, and it's not who you are, And I was like, all of the things I said, I was getting from other people, and I was like, you have no idea what this feels like, and I really went through it for a week until I got my blood test back, and it all came back negative. So I went from having HIV to not having HIV, like for sure. I was like paranoid and upset and mad and grateful. Like who gets a chance like that? I felt like I had a new lease on life, and I felt sad for my friends who were positive, because this doesn't happen, very commonly. And now what happened was I received a false positive. Apparently it happens like one every like 3,000 people or something at the clinic. And like, for example, the first rapid test that I did came back positive, and then the second one came back negative, and then the blood test all came back negative. So, like I said, it was really, really hard. And I had already had the thought about, and I talked to a positive friend, about like, what was it like seeing all of this like negative advertising around the city, and how did it make you feel? And it made me feel bad thinking about my friends and those people who would see that in the city. I was embarrassed. I was like, I'm a little sensitive, so I felt like I would ask a positive person. So I already, I won't share his response, because that's something that someone else you could ask your positive friend. So, and find their answer. I mean, his responses are going to be everyone's. So, find out what the people in your community, how they feel about it, right? And then try to make movements there. Now, the thing is like, I had already asked him about that way before I found out about this false positive thing and the situation happening. And then I just reflected back on that, and I was like, oh my God, I'm relating to those billboards all entirely different now. And I felt just like what you go through is like, like I felt changed when I found out that I was like positive, and essentially it made me want to make a difference in those who are. I mean, I volunteered at Being Alive a few years ago, which is an HIV foundation in Los Angeles that works specifically on helping positive patients and educating non-positive folks how to remain negative. And so like it was essentially providing resources to the HIV positive people, connecting them to proper care, helping them get food, helping them get counseling. A lot of them were transgender. I was able to be part of some transgender education and counseling, and I've always been interested in that. I thought about pursuing transgender therapy, and so I mean, there's a lot happening in this community, and they need help. And this is Los Angeles. It's the biggest city in the world. We've got the best resources, and it's still hard here. So I want to, I mean, I'm working on a nonprofit already for something completely different. So it's not my time to be working on that at this time with the nonprofit, but I do look forward to volunteering and being participating in the AIDS walk, like I did a few years ago, raising thousands of dollars for that, which was really nice. And I want to do it. I want to hear what your suggestions are. I want ideas. I want to hear from my positive fans. I want to stride together. I want us to be making changes. I want us to be educating the fearful and the judgmental, and I want to do it through positive thinking. I want us to make the folks who view this negatively and like a death sentence as like a judgment, a negative judgment. You can't change people's perspective unless they're ready, but you can at least provide a different perspective. So they may not change right away, but you planted a seed. So allow me to thank you for watching this video, and leave your comments behind. You like it, you share it, you do all the normal stuff, and I'll see you in the next video, okay? All right, be well, everyone. Bye-bye.